Hey, I'm Music. Welcome to my channel. I do covers, original music, and I'm starting to do tutorials for songs on instruments like guitar, bass, ukulele, drums, keyboard, and mandolin. In this video, I'm going to do a quick little tutorial on how to read drum set sheet music. First, I'm going to open up my music software. I personally use MuseScore. It's a free program you can download off the internet. I'll get started by creating a new score and choosing my instrument. This is what a blank score looks like. Some key features are that clefs are made up of 5 lines with 4 spaces in between. The key difference between drums and other instruments, however, are that these lines and spaces don't correspond to particular notes. Instead, the placement of notes on this clef tell you which drum to play. Here's a quick little key that I made. Any drums are shown as the regular oval-shaped notes, such as these. On the 5 lines and spaces, any note that's ever on the bottom space is the kick drum. The second space above that is floor tom. The third space from the bottom is the snare. The top space is the mid tom, and the top line is the high tom. For various cymbals, including the hi-hat, they are always shown as X's, such as this. One ledger line above the clef is the crash cymbal. The space above the clef is a closed hi-hat. The top line is the ride cymbal. The top space is the open hi-hat, and one space below the clef is the foot pedal on the hi-hat. Now for some basic rhythm. For sake of example, this score is in the time signature 4/4. This means that a measure is composed of 4 beats, and a quarter note receives the value of 1 beat. If you have either an unfilled oval or an unfilled X with no stem, it is worth 4 beats, or takes up the entire space of 1 measure. An unfilled note with a stem is worth 2 beats, or takes up half a measure, and is called a half note, such as these. A note that is filled in and has a stem is worth 1 beat, which is a quarter note, and it takes up a quarter of a measure. Divisions shorter than a quarter note begin adding little flags to the top of notes, or bottom if they're like this. 1 flag is an 1/8 note, which is half a beat, or there's 8 of them in 1 measure of 4/4. 2 flags is a 16th note, which is worth half the value of an 1/8 note. While an 1/8 note is worth half a beat, a 16th note is a quarter of a beat. And it goes on, like a 32nd note with 3 flags. Also, if you have 2 or more notes with flags right next to each other, they will join together and have lines at the top or bottom joining them together, like this. It works the same for 16th notes. And then sometimes you'll have them joined together like this, with other note lengths. If you don't want to play any notes, then rests are used. All rests have the same amount of not playing as their name suggests relative to their note counterparts. A whole rest is a rectangle hanging below one of the lines on the clef. Since it's a whole rest, in 4/4 it would mean that there is silence for 1 entire measure. A half rest is a rectangle sitting above a line. A quarter rest is this squiggle looking thing. An 1/8 note is a diagonal line with a little swirl coming off going to the left. And just like 1/8 notes and beyond, any further divisions shorter than an 1/8 rest is shown with more of these little swirls. To make music, various combinations of notes and rests of different lengths are put together to fill all the beats in a measure. When you play music or you're trying to figure out a part, it's often helpful to count it out. With any time signature, you would count out a measure in its parts. In 4/4, there are 4 beats in a measure, so you would count it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Whether it's whole notes, half notes, or quarter notes, you would use that basic system. If you go with divisions shorter than that, you would begin adding other things. 1/8 notes are counted with ands between each number. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Finally, 16th notes are counted as E's after the numbers and A's before the numbers. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Now for an example, here's a simple drum beat. A common 4/4 rock beat is to have 8 notes on the hi-hat, kick on beats 1 and 3, and snares on beats 2 and 4. When it's shown like this, that means that you're playing both of these drums at the same time. So on drums, this measure right here would sound like this. There are more specifics beyond just this, such as other beats, other time signatures, if your drum kit has additional drums or cymbals than what I listed, or further divisions in notes and music. But these are just the relative basics. If you need or want anything beyond this, please leave a comment below and I might do a part 2. Otherwise, please check out some of my other videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, see you next video.